I am going to confirm the rumors. The rumors are true. Your girl is out here single.
They see me as an expert in this particular field, so we can't hold ourselves in a box. We have to listen and venture out and branch out, and because of that, I am a media hybrid, is what I call myself.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the WIM Speaks Show. I am your host, DP Jeter, holding it down for the #1 sisterhood in the industry, Women in Media Global. Thank you so much to everybody who continues to tune in. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is doing very, very well. So when you like, when you comment, when you share, that's all love. It's going to help us grow our show. So we are super excited about our growth. And if you're not following us on Instagram, make sure you go ahead and do so you are in for another amazing episode. We have a guest in the studio with us, Nicky G. We have a woman in media right here in South Florida. I'm going to bring her onto the show, but before we do that, you know I have to share, I guess, a little known fact about me, okay? I am going to confirm the rumors. The rumors are true. Your girl is out here single. Yes, I haven't been single for that long, but I am single. So I'm in my single season, and people always want to say, well, how's single life? How's dating? Actually, guys, it's great. And I'm not saying that just to be positive. I'm saying it because there's a lot of positive things that could come out of you being in your single season. So for me, I keep myself busy, I keep myself engaged, and I'm always really focused on like personal growth, right? So in your single season, this is the opportunity for you to go after everything that your heart desires. And what I love about being single is that I can get up and go whenever I want to, like literally without a notice. I can just get up and make a move happen. So currently I do not have children either, so that makes it even more easier for me to just get on a flight, go to Malta if I like, go to Italy if I like to, spend 3 months, in Accra, Ghana, or whatever I want to do. But during this time has been really me focused on growing spiritually. I spend a lot of time in solitude. I do a lot of introspection. I like to read, and I'm very, very focused on just having an intimate relationship with God. So I'm keeping myself busy by following my goals, continuing to build my business, Women in Media Global, and also, I own an agency called AOI Events and PR. So when you have all of that on your plate and you are also focused on just staying in a space of gratitude, the single season is great. So that is the little known fact about me for this particular episode. So as we move into the show, like I said, we do have an amazing guest, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce her right now. If you are already here in this South Florida, Miami area, she is no stranger to you, okay? If you are in the media, if you are just in the know, if you are out and about and you know the movers and shakers in Miami, then you know Nicky G. So welcome, Nicky, to the show.
Thanks for having me.
I'm very excited to have you. Like you said, it's been a long time coming.
Yes, it's been a while. We made it happen.
We made it happen. So again, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. And Nicky G is a media executive. She is the editor-at-large and the host of the Soul Talk Show for MIA Magazine. She was born in Jamaica and now living in South Florida. Nicky has a wealth of experience in the media industry, both behind and in front of the camera. She's been featured in a lot of major publications and has worked with global brands. So Nicky, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So your bio does share that you've worked with a lot of major brands.
Yes.
And you've done some awesome interviews with some major figures and influencers and celebrities that we know. Can you share, just give us a couple of names of those brands you've been able to work with in your career?
Yeah. So as a brand ambassador and a model, I've worked with Creole Essence. They're a global beauty brand. I've worked with Vitamalt, your Malta drink. It's mainly known in the Caribbean and African continent as well, but Vitamalt as well. Eden Body Works. Works is one of them as well. And locally within South Florida, different cities, different festivals. Jazz in the Gardens is one of them as well. So the list could be very, very long, but I'm going to keep it short for the purpose of the show.
So not only are you a woman who is creating media, you are an executive, you're making and telling stories, but you're also a model, right?
Yes.
And a brand ambassador, right?
That's correct, yeah. I would say I'm a hybrid. So I've been on a journey. So you said earlier you was on your single journey, girl. Yeah. I understand. But manifestation, it's very powerful. So I would say post-pandemic, I was on my own journey as well. I was affirming and manifesting. And at that time, I had no idea what my gift and my purpose was. So I would say 2019, 2020 is when I started to venture out and discover that I was more than just like an account executive. I was able to learn more about myself as far as modeling, being in front of the camera, and we all have a gift and a purpose. And the thing is, we have to listen. So I had no idea what my gift was until people were coming to me and asking me questions. They were asking me about recommendations. They were consulting with me. They were like, hey, what do you think about this? And I'm like, you know what? They see me as an expert in this particular field. So we can't hold ourselves in a box.
Come on.
We have to listen and venture out and branch out. And because of that, I am a media hybrid is what I call myself.
I love that. I think I'm a media hybrid.
I think you are too, girl. I think you are.
I love that. Well, thank you for sharing a little bit more about your journey. And so you said that it was during the pandemic that this realization came about. So the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, definitely. So again, you know, we have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. So that being said, when I was first approached to be the host for MIA Soul Talk Show, I was like, wait a minute, you see me being in that space? Because I did not see myself being in that space.
Wow.
So when the founder of MIA Media Group reached out to me, he was like, hey, I'm gonna launch a show and I would like for you to be the host. And I was like, but I don't see myself doing that. You know what I'm saying? He goes, no, I see you doing that. And I was like, okay. So in my mind, I was like, oh my God, I'm nervous. Am I ready to do this? I've never done it before. And I'm like, you know what?
Done it before.
I've never done it, not to that caliber. I've never done it before. So that told me that he saw me in that space. I never saw myself in that space, but he did.
But you always had this fashionable look, right? You always had this beautiful hair and you had this style and this ambiance and this presence to you, right?
Right.
So you were already given.
But it was in front of the camera not saying nothing. It was just modeling, not like speaking. You know what I'm saying? So I was okay with that. But the speaking part, I was like, okay, I'm a little nervous.
Got you.
But you know, fake it till you make it. So that's what I did. And I was like, you know what? If he sees me in that space, I was meant to be in that space. So I took it, ran with it, and I love it. I'm like, thank you, universe. Thank you so much.
So you actually were modeling before you started posting.
That's correct, yeah.
Got you. So you were already building this brand that you have.
And that came about organically as well. So with the whole modeling, my first major publication was Sheen Magazine.
Okay.
So I had
as a model?
As a model.
Nice.
As a spread within the magazine. I was beginning on social media, Instagram, you know, all that stuff. And a good friend of mine, she reached out to me. She goes, hey, you know what? I was gonna be a model in this publication, but I'm not able to make it anymore. So they were asking me if I knew anybody. So she goes, I sent them about 5 different models that I know. I sent you a picture and they chose you. And I was like, oh, what? Really? And they chose me? And that's how it first started with my first spread in Sheen Magazine.
A whole spread.
Yeah, girl. I was like, okay, I'm onto something here. So we may not know what it is, but we have to just go with the flow of the energy.
I love that.
Know?
I love that. That is great advice for all of our listeners tuned in. So with you being in modeling and you being an executive, how do you, and you're a mother.
Yes, I am.
so give us a day in your life, because I know you already had a podcast interview and now you're about to go somewhere else. So what is a day in the life of you juggling all of the amazing commitments that you've been blessed with?
A bottle of wine. Yes. No. No, but everything is balanced. Everything is definitely balanced. And I want to say boundaries. We have to set boundaries because mental health is so important. Like at one point I was the yes lady. We cannot say yes to everything. We have to learn to say no because we're going to get burned out, you know? And we have to be aware of, what do you call it? Are they vampire energy suckers? What do you call it? The
energy suckers?
But they're that vampire energy, whatever you call it.
I don't know. Enlighten us, sis. Enlighten me. I don't know about the vampire.
You have people where where they're opportunists and they'll just suck everything out of you. So you have to be intuitive of that. So for me, yeah, so I'm also an advertising account executive in the media space. So I do build advertising campaigns for advertisers nationally, and I'm also the host as well. So again, everything is balanced, and I also have my kids as well. So I have a boy and a girl. They're teenagers now.
Are just gorgeous.
Thank you.
Gorgeous children. I was so happy to be able to meet your children. I was like, these are your children. They were just great young adults.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. But given that they're older, they're more independent, so I'm able to like flow and maneuver and navigate because they can, they're little mini adults in a sense.
That's true.
So I'm grateful for that. But when they were younger, I was like, man, I need a babysitter. My mom, can you please help me out, please? Yep. Their dad is also a part of their lives as well. So we have 50-50 custody as well. So that helps out. But yeah, but everything is balanced. And I do want to stress being able to say no for your mental peace and wellness and mindset. Yeah. Set boundaries for yourself.
Yeah, we talk a lot about that here at Women in Media Global because our whole mission is about holistic approach to the woman. And so yes, we want to empower women and build their careers in the media and entertainment space, but it's important for us to take a holistic approach to her, which is putting you first so that you don't experience that burnout and that you can avoid it. I too experienced burnout as an entrepreneur, working in media, and I was young. I was maybe 30 when that happened.
What you mean when you was 30? Girl, you look, okay, I'm not saying 30 is old, but I had no, girl,
I know I look younger. I'm 35.
Okay.
But I feel like since moving to Florida, I feel like I'm aging backwards, like the sun, like the melanin, like it's just doing the number on me.
Yes, girl, you're glowing. I would say 20s,
Right.
Yes, okay.
I take that, I take that. But yes, I did experience that. So what the advice that you're giving is so true. Make sure that you put yourself first and you have those boundaries and you have, a schedule and you actually do things that you want to do and that you enjoy doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Unplug, yeah.
I definitely want to continue what we were talking about. So I pulled up Instagram and Meek Mill, if y'all follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I do these rants and I kind of react to a lot of the interesting and silly things that Meek Mill says. And it's all love. I'm just coming in with my professional opinion as a communicator of how he should communicate better. So he made a comment that he pretty much agreed with the first lady of Nigeria, and she was saying that she does not want the young people in Nigeria to follow after U.S. celebrities who are nude and naked. After Meghan Markle visited Nigeria, and I guess she came through, with a less clothes.
Meghan Markle, Prince Harry's wife? What? But she's always like covered up in. Okay, go ahead.
I don't know what happened on that visit. Y'all gonna dig in. We're gonna dig in a little bit more. But apparently, it sparked the conversation. And so during her husband's first year in office, she wanted to discuss her hopes for the modesty of Nigerian women and girls. And Meek Mill says, well, yes, I agree with that. We do not want to see, our women naked. It's actually a turnoff, is what Meek Mill said.
But didn't he date Nicki Minaj?
He did, but maybe that was, before he realized what he wanted.
Okay,
I don't know.
Go ahead, girl.
We change, things change. But, that is, let me pull up, and I quote what Meek says. He agrees, yeah. So he tweeted, of course he tweeted, "Black men in America hate it. It's actually a turnoff. Nigeria's first lady advises young girls not to copy U.S. celebs. We have to salvage our children. We do not want nakedness in our culture."
It's a nakedness.
So I definitely want to know what your take is on
his comment.
On everything, because everybody has something to say, and it sparked the whole thing.
Well, I think it's a little too late for that. I think Western civilization and culture have definitely rubbed off and influenced other countries and influences as well.
Yep.
I can say there are some countries like Russia, or North Korea, even Cuba, where they're very tight on the people and their consumption of media. They control that because of fear of influences from Western culture, you know?
Censored media.
Of course, yeah. So the Western culture has definitely influenced when it comes to the LGBTQ community as well.
Right.
I want to say, is it Uganda where they have banned it? It's illegal to.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard about that news as well.
To marry and date.
To marry same sex. Yeah. So you can, I think, go to jail or prison if you're caught, doing that. So, but they blame it on Western culture.
Okay.
So when it comes to half naked women and all that stuff, I think think it's a little too late for that. There is a show on, I believe, is it Netflix or Prime, where it's called Young, Rich, and Africans.
Netflix.
Young, Rich, and Africans. They parade half naked with their blings and their gems and their...
So the cast, I have not watched this show. So the cast of this show, are they Africans in America? Or
no, they're Africans living in Africa.
Got you.
Yes,
okay.
and they're billionaires, millionaires, and they're well off, and they just, you know, ride around in their expensive cars and their half naked clothes and so forth.
That's what I say. You don't have to look very far to see nakedness, because I haven't seen that all Nigerian women are all covered up all the time, and then we're not coming at anybody, but she definitely came for US, and I just want to say that that there is nakedness in also African culture.
Yes.
And also, I mean, the children in Nigeria can look to the adult woman in Nigeria and kind of see similar images. You know, it is a very touchy topic. I do understand and agree what she means about just the influence that it does have over young people, but we live in a day now where so much stuff is uncensored, where it's like
social media is a sewer.
You know, it's like you have to raise your children, and they need to understand their value. They need to understand what you expect of your family when they go out the house, and you have to be their biggest influence and, you know, just groom their mindset.
Right. I mean, can they ban Sexy Red? I mean, what's her thoughts on Sexy Red? I want to know that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so
we
again,
should bring her to the WIM Speaks show.
Right. I mean, you got the Sexy Reds out there parading, talking about brown, you know, I don't want to say the word. I don't want to say the words on here, but but lyrics, the way how we dress, it does transcend into other cultures outside of the United States. You know, it's about parenting. It's about, if you're a guardian, it's about talking to your child. It's about not letting the way how pop culture dresses or the lyrics of the songs or even the movies or the shows influence their minds, you know? Even with my daughter, I was talking to her about Sexy Red. I said, listen, I know you may listen to Sexy Red.
And your daughter's a teenager.
She just turned 18.
Okay.
So I'm like, what do you think about her? She goes, oh my God, I think she's trash, but I like her music. I said, okay, but you listen to her music. She goes, yeah, but it doesn't influence who I am. I said, are you sure that the Sexy Reds will not, or the Lottos or the Ice Spices will not influence who you are? She goes, no. She goes, I know who I am. She goes, it may be catchy, but I'm not going to live that lifestyle. So again, as we have to make sure that we instill and have that conversation with the youth so they know the difference.
And I think there's two different women out here. I think there is the woman who is more modest. Yeah. And I think there is the one who's going to be out there and he's just going to have it out. I think that there's two different types of people.
There is two different types of women and how they dress. That is correct. Yes,
and
girl.
what you're going to do, it's being sold, it's being made. They're going to bring it. They're going to make it. I too do wish for a more positive representation of women in mainstream media. And so with being able to combat some of that, it seems like it's an uphill battle. But I would love to see more women highly respected, because you even see the change with our interview is going in a totally different direction.
Oh, girl, we flowing. That's fine. We flowing.
But even with not Janelle, is it Janelle Monáe?
Yeah, Janelle. Oh, yes, that's a good one.
How she was, she came out like with she wore bow ties and button ups,
very covered up,
and now
she got the titties. Oh wait, can I say that?
You can say titties.
Oh yeah, okay. Yes, she done transform, you know. Yes.
I don't know what the backstory is on that.
Me neither, but she definitely, her latest album, Lipstick Lover, definitely, she went to different heights.
She had some nude scenes or something.
Yeah, she did. Some
video going.
She definitely did transform into a whole different look. Yeah, and there's a few of them like that. So I don't think, I don't know if they're industry puppets, maybe industry puppets is what they're calling them nowadays. Industry plants.
A plant?
Industry plants is what they're calling them.
A plant, okay.
Yes, so maybe they're trying to sell more records. They're trying to have her be more mainstream. Who knows? But yes.
Yeah, sex does sell in a society that sells sex.
Right.
So I don't know. I definitely want to see more representation, and I want to see, okay, if we're promoting, the Sexy Reds, I want us to promote just as much the modest woman or the other types of media.
Right. Yeah, they're not really showing too much. But you do have the Ennies, you have the Sims. There are female rappers.
Yep.
And they dress modest and they're still creative.
And I want them to get just as much plug, just as much play, just as much opportunity as all the others.
Yeah.
But I thought that was interesting. So I'm definitely going to do a reaction to that. Meek Mill, I don't know. He spoke for all men. He said, we hate it.
Is he just trying to cover up is it a PR stunt because of what's happening with his reputation right now? I'm just saying.
Leah, what you think? Do black men in America hate it? See, it's
right. That is true. That's true. Yeah, I feel like with men, there was like a poll. So this guy was asking random people, do men like women to look a certain way or look this particular way?
Interesting.
And the poll was actually shocking. A lot of men, they do like the woman to be covered up. They don't want the little thirst trap looking type of women, you know? So I think what women think, what men are looking for, the total opposite. I think it's just total opposite.
Right.
Based on that poll that was done randomly
so most
on the
of them,
streets.
they want their woman
to be covered up. Based on what I've seen on social media, they want to be covered up. Yes.
They don't want it all out. I know my brother, when he went to get married with his wife, David Shands of the Social Proof Podcast.
Yeah.
And he said, you know, he chose his wife because she wasn't all out there.
Yeah.
And that she was pretty much covered up. You know, she was a nice, modest woman. And I've heard a guy say this to me. He said he didn't want to commit or be with a Instagram like model, famous or it's influencer Instagram type of woman who is like promoting a brand, putting themselves out there like all online. And I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Well, a brand is different, like promoting a brand or dressed in a certain way, like in what
he made
context?
It seem like promoting yourself on social media. So basically your partner would have a lot of followers, or your partner would be out there because he is himself an influencer. So I guess he didn't want another
influencer to that caliber. Yes. Okay.
I thought that was interesting. Very
interesting.
Yeah. So I definitely want to talk a little bit more about your experience and dive into that.
Yeah.
And you know, you've had great experience both in front of the camera and behind the camera, but what are some insights you've gained working as an executive and as a talent that you would like to share with our listeners?
Yeah, I would say as an executive, it's great I don't want to get too technical, but I'm able to learn about industry benchmarks as far as engagement, impressions, how to effectively build a campaign, how to reach different audiences. So I work in the audience space. I, reach out to my clients or they reach out to me and I learn about, okay, who's your audience? Where do they live? What are they watching? Where do they shop? So like my brain is so involved in metrics and audiences and psychographics, geographics. And it's just great learning about that aspect of media when it comes to campaigns. It's also great learning different markets, Florida versus New York versus LA versus Texas. Like it's so different and I love it. I love learning different audiences and also being like an influencer as well, like seeing how they merge with each other, what advertisers are looking for. So traditional media is definitely shifting. It's a lot of advertisers, they're looking for influencers, more nichier type of content to be more granular in reaching their audience, So it's just great seeing two different spectrums and also being in front of the camera, just learn it, speaking to different high profile celebrities like Sean Paul recently or Jill Scott or, so it's just cool speaking to them in front of the camera. And one thing I do want to stress too is one thing I had to learn, one thing I had to learn the hard way. I did my first red carpet interview back in 2022 and there were a lot of high profile people there and it was my first time with a mic, with a camera, and I was like, okay, what am I doing? And this high profile woman, she came in, through the red carpet and I didn't know who she was. I couldn't pronounce her name.
The name.
So the runner was like, her name is so-and-so. And I was like, wait, what's her name again? She's so-and-so. I'm like, well, what's her name again? What does she do? So I didn't know her background. I couldn't pronounce her name. So she comes in front of me. So I'm like, hey, I'm Nicky with so-and-so. And I couldn't pronounce her name. And she got so offended. And she goes, you know what? I don't want to talk to her. I'm done. Next. And she like left me standing there with the mic. And I was like, never again.
Yeah.
So moving forward, I make sure to get their names. I make sure to know how to pronounce their names, their bio, to look at the press releases, what are they up to, because preparation is key.
Doing the work.
Preparation is key. So that was one thing I learned the hard way. I'll never forget.
Well, that's a great takeaway. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
So your show, MIA Magazine, Soul, it highlights what's trending in Black and Brown South Florida. So can you share like a day in the life of what it's like to produce and host your show?
Yeah, definitely. So we have a producer, shout out Rashad West. Yeah, Yeah, so the show, in the beginning, we were seeking the different featured guests, but now they're coming out to us. Like, it's filled every single week.
Oh, of course.
It's packed every single week, yeah. So it's at the point now where we have to have 2 guests on a segment, or 3 guests at a segment, because it's so like packed. Yeah, so day in a life. So yeah, we get the email, it's either a DM or an email or something, and then if they reach out to me directly, I get them in contact with our producer, and he reaches out to them as far as the logistics, operations, and so forth. I get the press release or the content they want to talk about, and then I come up with the interview questions ahead of time. They look at the questions, if they like it or not, I make a couple of changes, and then we go live every Wednesday at 6:30. It is a live stream, which streams on YouTube and Facebook and so forth.
Okay, so you shoot live.
We shoot live.
Awesome. Okay.
And then it airs on the CW on Sunday afterwards.
Got you.
So that's how that works. Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah. And so you go, and it's a lot of fun. You just being in front of the camera. And the thing is, you have to. So it is timed. So I have to make sure that we don't go over time, because it has to be 30 minutes max.
Yep.
So yeah, that's it.
That's awesome. So how many episodes have you already aired?
Ooh.
Cause you're a couple years in, right? 3 years in?
Yeah, about over 3 years in.
Okay.
It's every week. I can't, that's a good question. I can check really quick. Yeah, it's in the 100. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Any recent highlights? Anything that stands out that was like a major moment on the show?
I would say Sean Paul, yeah, he was touring about 3 weeks ago at the Fillmore in Miami Beach, and I'm Jamaican, so I was happy to have him on the show, and I learned so much about him, about his background. His family is very athletic. They're into polo, like water sports.
Okay.
Who would have thought Sean Paul's family was into water sports? And he was also into that too.
Yeah.
So we spoke about that and just what he's up to right now, and him being in the game for over 20 years and so forth. So I would say he was definitely a major highlight recently.
That's great. That's great. We definitely have to make sure we check that one out.
Yes, you don't know.
So as we wrap up this amazing episode, we have a segment called Wise Words Learned from Women.
Okay.
So what piece of advice that maybe you have gotten from a woman that you would like to share with our listeners, and who was she?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a good one. Let me think about that one. Oh yes, Lady Shannon Igadoro. Yes. For the city of Miami Gardens. I would say, so she, again, you don't know how the public sees you or how they perceive you, but she reached out to me and she recognized me as a woman of virtue, and she does it like every quarter, I believe. But she recognized women within certain aspects of life, different verticals or industries. And one thing that she really stresses mental health. She stresses not being plugged into society or the noise, but to be your own person, to listen to that voice in your head, because we can get so caught up and influenced by Western culture, right? But she stresses social media, even with dating. There's all these podcasts nowadays.
It's a lot.
And it's like, should I date or should I not date? Who should I date?
All right.
Who should I date? You know what I'm saying?
That's why you got to stay in your word. You want to know the truth? You go to the creator and you get all truths.
Yeah.
That's what you judge and base things off of.
Yeah.
Did God say this or did he not? Cool.
Yes. Be an independent thinker. Be your own independent thinker. Formulate your own opinions and hypothesis. Don't let social media control your mindset.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Finally, is there any upcoming projects, anything you want to share with our audience that we haven't discussed already that we should know about, Nicky G?
Wow, that's a good, that's a good question. Any upcoming projects? So as of right now, working on Miami Swim Week, which is launching this week. Yeah. And so what I did was I want to highlight Black and brown swimwear designers.
Okay.
Miami Beach has a reputation for not really bringing us into the space.
I've heard.
So the thing is, so I'm reaching out to some of the organizers, and we have a few interviews lined up with Black and brown designers.
I love that.
From certain parts of the world. So I think some from Brazil. Looking forward to that. And then that's it coming up that I can think of right now.
That's great. I love the perspective. So we will be on the lookout for those interviews to come out. Congratulations on all of the amazing things that you're doing. You are such a light in the Miami area. So
thank you
I'm rooting for you. And before we go, let us know how we can tune into your work and follow you and support.
So again, my handle across the board on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, it's Nicky Says YOLO, Nicky Says YOLO. And all also the MIA Media GRP. Again, it's the MIA Magazine on Instagram, and then MIA Media GRP website.com. That's where you can find everything, the website. So
awesome. This has been another amazing episode of the WIM Speaks Show. We are Women in Media, and we have spoken. Till next time.
Thank you so much.